I'd rather not pull one of those "I'm different" cards when describing my childhood, for I'm positive someone out there has experienced something similar. However, in my short lifetime, whenever I talk to someone about my background, I always get odd faces, and even some people have brushed it off as fabrication, an attempt in spicing up a mundane life I'm attempting to cover up. I apologize for coming off incredibly pretentious in the few short words I have already said. Without padding it any longer, allow me to tell you my story. My dad is a jazz musician, and my mom is a teacher/retired professional lighting designer, teacher, production manager, glassblower, just, only a few things to list off the crazy career she had. With having that context in mind, growing up in the arts has allowed me to view the world as both a beautiful and tragic story holder. And if there's one thing I always crave, it's a good story, and how to make one. The earliest known example I can recall me wanting to know more on the process of story making is, oddly enough, watching the special features on any DVD that we had. I loved to see all the other people working with the actors, loved to see the animators make a storyboard come to life. My little face was glued to the screen in amazement and fascination. I specifically remember watching the disc 2 of the Monsters Inc. movie set that we had, and learning that in order to make Sully the fuzzy blue monster that he was, Pixar had to create, from scratch, a software that could emulate naturally moving hair. If they didn't do that, they would have had to hand animate every hair on his body, similar for what DreamWorks did for Prince Charming in Shrek 2. In Charming's opening shot, when he removes his helmet, I remember a lead animator saying that it took 3 months to animate Charming's hair swoosh. 3 months. At least in Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, they didn't have to go through so many animation constraints as they were already working in a universe that was built. One of the key points in the special features that they made regarding the CGI in the film was making sure Aslan and the actors who played the centaurs felt real in their environments. I remember giggling to myself about the fact that the centaurs had to choreograph their scenes in wheelbarrows and wagons, having the other person behind them move them as they practiced their scenes. Just seeing those behind the scenes, seeing everyone come together to create amazing stories. That process, I wanted to eventually be a part of that. There's another amazing scenario that I believe made more of an impact on me than special features hidden on a disc. When I moved to St. Louis at the ripe old age of 4, my dad had gotten a better job, so my mom didn't have to worry about working herself, and she could take care of us as a stay-at-home mom. Now, if all the previously mentioned stuff that my mom has done wasn't evident enough, being stuck in a house with 3 young children didn't sit well with her. She wanted something new, something exciting, something adventurous. So she began these mini glass-blowing conventions that took place right in our home. Once a year, we would empty out all the furniture from every room and shove it in the garage. And over 100 people from 14 different states would flood the house for a whole weekend. In the daytime, every room became a different classroom with a singular torch in it, and at night they all became bedrooms. When the room couldn't fit any more people, they filled the hallways, kitchen floor, living room, basement, you name it. And after the house wouldn't accept any more people, they would just check into nearby hotels. And when it came time for dinner, everyone had brought in their own delicacies, and the house, already filled to the brim with people, became the world's best potluck. And after everyone had dinner, then came the best part of these conventions. Conversation. People would just talk for hours on end, and it could be about anything. All these stories that my tiny ears heard, I wanted to eventually tell just as amazing stories too. Similar to seeing how so much work went into these films really inspired me, and I wanted to eventually be a part of that. Maybe not in that exact way, but I wanted to show people my thought process and progress, just like how they showed it on the DVD. Growing up with this background, I got a first-hand experience as to what an artist's job should be, to tell a story to others. What purpose you have with sharing that story and how you come up with that story is up to you. The point of learning the process not only benefits you, but other people too. Because if they are inspired by what you create, just like how I was with special features and other people's stories, they will want to create just as amazing things. They will investigate how it's made to get a better understanding, how the gears in the cog machines flow together nicely, or not so nicely, depending on how you look at it. And the whole wonderful cycle of wanting to create a story begins again. Thank you for listening to me. Have a nice night now.